It is now my pleasure to welcome you and all those who have honored our invitation to attend this conference. Seeing you all here today gives me great pleasure and inspiration. On behalf of the Judiciary of Botswana, I say to you all, we feel your love, and thank you so very much. In relation to you, Mr. President, there is a special quality that you bring to occasions like this one, because not only are you the head of state, but you are also a senior member of the bar, who until as recently as 9 months ago, you served this judiciary with unparalleled humility as an advocate. In that respect, we know that you have a deep or deeper appreciation of the issues besetting this organization. In a special way, we also want to congratulate the recently appointed judges, 3 of whom were appointed to the Court of Appeal. I'm too close. I'm too close, okay. 3 of whom were appointed to the Court of Appeal, being Justice Ketlogetswe, Justice Michael Leburu, and Justice Lot Moroka. Can I kindly ask you to give them a round of applause and congratulations. And we have 6 other judges who have been appointed to the High Court. In the presence of my friend, Felicity Sugweni, my friend within Tapelo Mutala, my friend, Mr. Bafin Landa, my sister and friend, Ms. Nomsa Sinkimwazwi, my sister and friend, Ms. Lina Mukibe, and my friend and former chairman of the Law Society and former member of the Judicial Service Commission, Mr. Tsekiso, who will be sworn into office today by the President of the Republic of Botswana. Kindly give them a round of applause. And it is the first time that the swearing-in ceremony of judges will be conducted in public. Of course, it has always been, because even when we attend at the office of the President, the proceedings will be broadcast live, live streamed, so that the public can follow what is happening. But today, the ceremony will be conducted in the presence and witnessed by a large gathering of judicial officers and other key stakeholders, including our people watching on their television sets back at home. We are grateful, Mr. President, that you are always amenable to doing things differently and almost applying the principles of disruptive thinking. We are particularly grateful that despite or in spite of your well-known busy, that's your job. We are particularly grateful that in spite of your busy schedule, official schedule, you have found it fit to bless us with your presence and grace this conference and give a keynote address. We are also happy to inform you, Mr. President, and ladies and gentlemen, that we have the honor of special guests whom I would like to single out for a special welcome. We have a 2-man delegation from the judiciary of Uganda who are visiting Botswana on a benchmarking exercise to study our customary court system, including land issues, and how they can apply the experience that they will acquire from us in Uganda. We have the Deputy Chief Justice of Uganda and my friend, Dr. Flavian Zeija. He's accompanied by His Worship Mwesije. I was going to ask him to just stand up a bit, my Lord. I think you are too quick to stand up and sit down. Can you stand up again and face your colleagues? They will, however, be only with us for this morning, whereafter they are due to go to the quarters. They will be meeting our Dukosi. They will start here. They started in Gaborone. They went to Muchudi. They met the Customary Court of Appeal President Kosi Mutibelinche. They will be meeting the Kosi and Palape, and thereafter they will travel back to see some of the Dukosi in the southern part of the country. We are happy to host them, and we believe they will enjoy their stay in Botswana. Now, for the purpose of this conference, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a long time since we have had a judicial conference. The last time we had a judicial conference was in 2017 in Mahalape. We, however, had a mini conference which was combined with the Southern African Judicial Education Institute Conference in 2019 in Gaborone, which had been convened to deal with trafficking in wildlife and related matters. It has therefore been an unduly long time for the judiciary to go without a meeting to discuss issues. I say this because, in my view, introspection is very key if an organization has to keep up with the ever-changing times or the ever-changing world. Today we meet laser-focused on reforms in the judiciary, evaluating the challenges and achievements over the years. We also want to speak to those reforms that we want to embark upon starting today. We want to speak to the need to inculcate a new culture that will enable us to improve the performance of our organization. It is at a time like this that we need to remind ourselves of the burden of the public expectation that we carry. The public expects a vibrant judiciary that exercises its mandate with speed and integrity. There is no option for failure when it comes to that duty. It is also a time for us to confirm that our integrity remains unsullied. At the end of it all, we also need to strategize on new and better ways of carrying out the business of this organization forward. Now, the context of the conference, Mr. President, is that it comes against the backdrop of resource challenges in financial, manpower, transport, and court facilities. The current government-wide financial challenges are a matter of public knowledge, but there is still need to educate our institutions further on the challenges we face as a country. This explains why we have invited the Minister of Finance to come and address us on the country's economic challenges. However, it bears mentioning that we have operated with the aforesaid resource challenges and doing more with little. We will continue to do so, Mr. President. Naturally, we would have achieved more had the circumstances been more propitious. We applaud the government for continuing to support the judiciary, even under very trying circumstances. Having said that, however, I can assure you, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, that despite the challenges, we remain undaunted in our desire to also transform the judiciary and leverage technology and in partnership with others to improve service delivery. Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, you will recall that as an effort on our part to take justice closer to our people, we are establishing a High Court division in Mahalape. We did mention that in our opening of the legal year ceremony in February. Our projections are that the court will start operations at the latest in November this year. The judges have pledged, because you see, we are short of resources. We understand the difficulties that the government is going through. So what the judges have done, Mr. President, is this. The judges have accumulated many days, that is their leave days. And when we told them of the project in Mahalape, they also wanted to partner with government. So we approached the Ministry of Finance to get advice. And they agreed with us that we could donate our leave days, with each judge donating 20 days. Those days will be encashed, and the money will not come to us. We are going to buy porter camps or porter cabins to help the project in Mahalape. We therefore ask, Mr. President, that the government should not tax that money. Because in any event, even if you tax, we are going to ask for the very same money that we have taken from our leave days in order for us to carry out the project in Mahalape. Our calculations, and I think these are just rough calculations, are that exercise, okay, the new judges need not worry. They don't have leave days. I can see that they are getting a little bit jittery and unsettled. They are not part of that, but if they accumulate days and they want to donate, they will be happy to receive their assistance. Our rough estimations, Mr. President, are that at least 2.1 million pula will be raised from that exercise, and it will go towards protections. Now, this conference on the theme, Mr. President, has been convened under the theme Upholding Human Rights Through Judicial Reforms and Accountability. The theme calls for introspection on the judicial reforms concerned. It will be interesting to see whether we can produce the fruit born of the said reforms, whether the reforms have addressed the challenges that we face. This is critical because the failure of reforms will naturally birth delays in justice delivery. And we have, let me say, we are resolute that whatever we are going to come up at this conference will take us forward. On judicial accountability, they say, in the same breath, the judiciary should remain accountable to its main stakeholders, being the public, that is the people of Botswana, both citizens and residents. This it does not by hosting conferences and making eloquent presentations. It is ultimately a question of how well it serves the man in the street. This should remain the guiding principle. There will also be discussions on topics like digitization, admissibility of electronic evidence, and the role of specialized courts, to cite but a few examples. These are the wheels on which the anticipated reforms will run. We will also need to review our previous strategy and work in the light of the National Transformation Program being developed by the government. Work has commenced on the development of our strategy. I'm sure that in the course of this conference, we should be able to find the most appropriate solutions. I wish to inform this gathering that some of the reforms that we are looking forward to include the establishment of the Constitutional Court, the restructuring of the registrarship, and the restructuring of the magistracy. And I need to speak a little bit in relation to the restructuring of the magistracy. What we have currently is that magistrates are divided into various grades. Some of those magistrates are not able to do certain cases because of jurisdictional challenges. So what we are going to be doing, it will be similar to what happens in the High Court. We are going to have fewer grades of magistrates, and they will have wider jurisdiction. And in that way, we will have many magistrates being able to do many cases without necessarily being limited by jurisdiction. And we believe that will help in the expeditious disposition of cases. One of the highlights of the envisaged reforms is in relation to the composition of the Judicial Service Commission, where we have proposed that the JSC be chaired by a retired judge, as opposed to the JSC being chaired by the Chief Justice. This is a very radical change, and it is not common. I think Botswana will be one of the few countries, if there are any, that will be having that arrangement. And the reason we have done that, and this has come from ourselves, is because we believe that that will be in line with good corporate governance and the principles of judicial accountability. The current arrangement is that the Chief Justice, as head of the judiciary, chairs the Judicial Commission, the Judicial Service Commission. And because the Judicial Service Commission functions like a board, the Chief Justice is therefore an executive chairman. We want to change that arrangement such that there is a chairman who can also hold the Chief Justice accountable, particularly in terms of making sure that the Chief Justice follows the strategic plans of the organization. We don't want a situation where the Chief Justice is a law unto himself or herself. And this, like I have said, comes from us. Mr. President, and ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, it will be remiss of me if I fail to make mention of our collaborative technical relationship with the Botswana International University of Science and Technology, BIUST, with whom we intend to put in place a new and homegrown digital court records management system, which we think will be a major breakthrough and a game changer in our interaction with technology as we enter the digital world. The BIUST team, led by Dr. Dimani Mpoeleng, is part of this conference. They will share their thoughts with us and as to how we can leverage technology using homegrown and affordable talent. And we want to challenge all government departments that knowledge is present in Botswana. This is a team that has sent a satellite into space. And because I'm a bit ignorant in matters of technology, I thought they had sent the satellite to the moon, because the only thing that I know is that at some stage there was Apollo 11, so I thought they were dealing with that. So we challenge all government departments to enter into such partnership, to copy from us, to come and benchmark as to how this homegrown team will be assisting the administration of justice. Mr. President, the program of this conference shows that we have brought in a lot of stakeholders in the justice ecosystem. We believe this will give us the necessary feedback as we move forward to take the judiciary to another level. In conclusion, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all and wish you 3 days of fruitful deliberations. I thank you so very much for your attention. Thank you, Hula.